Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the long overdue sequel to Tim Burton's goofy classic, Beetlejuice. Pardon my voice, I have been getting over a cold. Anyways, let's discuss Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Don't say it a third time. Well, it finally happened. After literally years of development hell, Tim Burton has finally reunited with Michael Keaton and brought us the sequel that everybody has been really clamoring for. This movie, of course, stars Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, but there are some newcomers like Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, Monica Bellucci, Justin Theroux, and that is just to name a few of them. To say this movie has been highly anticipated, I think would be an understatement. The original movie really helped put both Tim Burton and Michael Keaton on the map of star status and helped inspire a lot of movies since then. It's been 36 years since that original movie came out, almost the entire length of my life. Talk about a long wait for a sequel. Suddenly, James Cameron's long wait times don't seem so bad. As soon as this movie started, I was filled with a huge sense of nostalgia. Actually, I was hit with nostalgia before the movie even started because when I first arrived at the theater, I had to go to the bathroom and I walked past an auditorium that had that classic Danny Elfman song blaring out of the darkness. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is so real because here it is. I am hearing this theme that first debuted in theaters back in 1988. I was 2 years old when that movie came out. I never in my life thought I would hear that song coming from the big screen, and yet here it is. It's happened. That is exciting. Michael Keaton, it is safe to say, has lost none of his swagger. This man knows how to turn on that crazy, zany, wacky personality, and he does it so effortlessly. I was actually reading an interview with Tim Burton where he described when Michael Keaton first put that suit back on, it seemed like he had been possessed by the spirit of Beetlejuice. He just turned it right back on and it felt like no time had passed at all. Michael Keaton is now 73 years old. When he first played this character, he was my age, 37. For him to be able to turn on that insane personality like no time at all had passed, it just speaks to his talent. And I didn't feel like I was watching the old man version of Beetlejuice. This is very much the same character that we saw in the original movie, albeit there is some extra wrinkles. Still, how many 73-year-olds do you see doing performances like this? His youthful energy is inspiring. He has more energy than people my age. I think his performance in this movie deserves a standing ovation because not many 73-year-olds can play a character so strange, and nobody can really do this character besides Michael Keaton. Winona Ryder, of course, is back, and she's playing an older version of Lydia who is now using her abilities as a medium to make money. It's no surprise there's not a lot of use for a skill like that, so why not capitalize off it? But the best part about seeing Winona Ryder's return is seeing how the tables have turned. She now has an angsty, moody teenager of her own that she has to deal with, and now she's finally seeing what she was putting others through with her teenager mood. Her daughter in this movie is played by Jenna Ortega, who got very popular from playing Wednesday Addams on the Netflix adaptation called Wednesday. You have to admit, it makes perfect sense to cast her in this movie because she did that goth role so well in Wednesday. It just makes sense to pair her up with Tim Burton and have her be Lydia's daughter. But her personality is nothing like Wednesday Addams. Don't think this is a carbon copy. She is very much bringing a different personality to this character. Catherine O'Hara, we all know, is a treasure, and she was very much a highlight of this movie. Her big energy and personality, her sharp wit, it's all there. She is very much the same person that she was in that original movie, and you gotta be so happy to see that. I think it's just absolutely amazing how these original actors from that older movie were able to come back and just step right back into the roles, and it all felt natural. This didn't feel like a cash grab like some sequels do. Of course, the new characters and actors that joined this movie are no slouches at all, and they very much hold up their own weight. Willem Dafoe, he was great. This guy is also an iconic actor who has done a lot of very big personality roles as well, and there's very few people like him and Michael Keaton in Hollywood that are playing characters that are so unique that you just can't think of anyone else but them playing these characters. Willem Dafoe is who everyone is going to think of as the Green Goblin. And when the MCU finally decides to take a crack at bringing a Norman Osborn to the MCU, not the one that was in No Way Home, that was Sony's Green Goblin. When the MCU finally decides to introduce Green Goblin, it's going to be very interesting because Willem Dafoe really knocked it out of the park. Monica Bellucci stars in this movie as well. She is playing a woman named Dolores who is hunting Beetlejuice, but I'm not going to tell you the reason why because that would be spoilers. All in all, I think the cast in this movie does a fantastic job, and the director, Tim Burton, of course, also does a great job. He has not lost any of that flair. In fact, this might be the most Tim Burton movie that he's made in years. The set designs are crazy and zany, the music, the characters, everything is just wacky and crazy, and only Tim Burton can really bring this kind of thing to life. I was actually wondering to myself, was Tim Burton inspired a bit by Dr. Seuss? Because when I was looking at some of these set designs, I was thinking, okay, maybe this is kind of like Dr. Seuss. Could that be where Tim Burton drew some of his energy and his style from? Put your thoughts on that in the comments. I'd say overall this movie was a huge success, but there were some things that didn't really work as well. Namely, by the time this movie ended, I found myself wondering if Monica Bellucci's character Dolores and her hunt for Beetlejuice really actually added to the movie. Did we even need that storyline? Because there was plenty of other storylines happening in this movie. Her storyline, I think, could have been chopped out. This movie has a slightly chaotic thing going on when it comes to its storytelling. There is a lot of different plot points happening in this movie at the same time, and not all of them mesh together, so that is where the movie starts to have some faults. This movie could have been an hour and a half of Michael Keaton sitting in a chair monologuing as Beetlejuice, and I would have been thoroughly entertained because I love his character. I love his energy. He has a personality to him that just seems uncanny. It is just insane. I hope I have a fraction of his energy and wit when I am his age. So for me, this movie is an 8 out of 10. I very much enjoyed this movie. What did you guys think? Did you guys see this movie yet? Put your thoughts on it in the comments and let me know. Did you like this review? If you did, please hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, then you should hit that subscribe button. Later.